Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here. In this video, I want to take a little bit of time to recap a few things. This is obviously day one of week one. I guess you can call it week 1.5. Now that we've had the actual official release, Tuesdays come around, and there are weekly events going on. So I want to talk about some of the weekly events in this video, what you should be doing this week for the new events that come up, and talk about my character's gearing progression, what my plans are for gearing up until Mythic 0 release, which is also the week of Heroic, and then going from there. Now, it might seem a little similar to last night's video, but tonight I want to break it down a little more, and there's a handful of things that we've learned today for weekly stuff, gearing, so on and so forth that we want to hit on, and hopefully help you guys out a little more heading into, well, this week and next week. If you guys like any week awards, add-ons, Twitch, Discord, my website links down below. We're all for free for you guys. And let's get it rolling. Alrighty, so starting it off here, I talked about it in yesterday's video, but once again, people are going to ask, this week aura is not mine. It is the Thomas War Within Helper. Link to it down below in the video description if you want it. It is incredibly helpful. If you pull up your character pane, it gives you an actual window right here, which talks about, I guess, shows all of the crest paths, so on and so forth, behind this Twitch drop thing, which shameless plug we have and all that kind of stuff. But if you want it, it's down below in the description. Awesome week aura, and there's that. So when it comes to getting into the early week ones, also this map week aura, also in my Wago, for those that are going to ask. So when it comes to getting into week one stuff, official, I guess, week one, if you want to call it that, because things have rolled over, the weeklies are open. Now, there's a handful of events in each zone that we should hit on here. We're in Isle of Dorn, so we'll start here. Number one, the Theater Troop event does indeed reward a chest if you complete the quest from the lady on the stage here. It is at the top of every hour. It's basically, well, every hour. It's in 2.5 minutes here. It's 5 a.m. basically, and there we go. There appears to be some weird bug with this, where if you enter the event, at times you get a bar at the top similar to Time Rifts, which is like uncommon, rare, and epic caches, which you fill in. Sometimes you just get a random bar for experience or like, you know, audience attraction or whatever, which doesn't give you anything. I'm not sure how to fix that bug. Maybe it's not bugged. I'm not sure. I was in a raid group earlier, and I think a quarter of the raid got an epic box. I didn't get anything. But regardless, there's a weekly quest you can get from the lady on the stage here. Grab it, knock it out, and that is your weekly in Isle of Dorn. Moving on to Ringing Deeps. So Ringing Deeps does indeed have the Awakening the Machine quest here, which does actually have a quest you need to grab. So I'll fly down here very briefly and show you guys where it's at. There is a scenario you do, which is, it just spawns basically 20 waves of mobs. It's pretty easy to do. I played Affliction on it and just basically blew them all up. It spawns in 20 waves in segments of 5. Take a break, 5 a break, you know, times 4. Completing that scenario does not complete the actual weekly for the Awaken the Machine cache. I did it once before. I got the 4 boxes at the end, did 20 waves, and didn't complete the quest, and I was curious as to why. The reason is because Blizzard has decided to put the quest for this in a very obscure place. So it'll likely be moved within a few days. It's very confusing. So Awakening the Machine is right here. This dude, talk to him, starts up the scenario. That's right. If you finish all 4 waves, you get 4 chests here. You open them up. You can get a mount, some gear. I didn't get either. But if you don't have the quest to do this, well, you're gonna have to do it again. I had to do it twice today. The quest is all the way back here in this random obscure building, which is hard to see your map when it's surrounded by flight paths and quest markers and stuff, because I have my map turned on. It is way back here from this dude. I've done both his quests today. He gets one for the Awakening the Machine quest and one for like turning in balls of wax, whatever. Grab this quest, then do Awaken the Machine, and then you'll get your weekly cash out of there. It can give a handful of items. I actually pulled 2 additional Imperfect Ascendancy Serums today. I have 3 now, which is very exciting. Lovely. Not buying that account or Warband bound, but that is that. Very easy scenario. You can knock that out super fast, and that is basically most of the Ringing Deeps. Now, when it comes to Hellafall, did it last week, also this week, this up here, the Spreading the Light event, I finished it already, but there are a handful of quests, I guess like you know, weekday, like, what do you call them? Little like parts in the zone with our quest, world quest-esque events up here that also have those little braziers you can light around them, which, you know, when you add 3 of the embers or whatever to them, they spawn in a world quest, which you need to do. Now, when it comes to that, there's a lot of them. They give extra resonant crystals, which if you're buying renown gear, you need a good bit of. I have 2 characters who split runs this tier, so I need a lot of resonant crystals, and this is probably the best way to farm this, I would say, for the most part. There's a handful of them up here. Just do them all. It takes a couple hours. Sort of annoying, but it is what it is. On top of that, the special assignment quest, I believe, the one that gives a key and the epic box essentially that requires you to finish 3 quests, is also up here. It is right on this island, I believe. It takes 3 world quests to unlock it. Once you do go up there, very fast, you can knock it out. But this is special assignment 1 up here, alongside the Hallowfall events up here. Blizzard has clarified as well that if you do indeed get an item from the Hallowfall event, the first item of the week, I think it's per character, will indeed be adventure bound or adventure track and be warbound. I actually got a handful today. I got some boots somewhere, but this is what I pulled, I believe. It was this actually. There we go. Adventure bound or adventure track, warbound, and there you go. It's a decent way to farm gear. You can get a lot of bags, chests, whatever you want to call them, and RNG is RNG, but you can get a lot of crystals as well. Rep if you need your renown grinds, and it's worth knocking out. The last zone here is as Kahet. Now, this zone will not likely show a special assignment for you if they don't fix the bug. The special assignment is right here, I think in the middle right here. It will not show. There will be world quests for you. I finished them all already. All you have to do, come in here, do the campaign. Takes 5 seconds to go down here, choose one of the 3 dudes, the spider guys. Doesn't matter which one you take. I took the big guy, the general, because he's pretty cool. Once that happens, world quests will be open. The special assignment will not appear for you. What you want to do, just do 3 world quests. And once you do that, it will appear unlocked, and then you can just go do it. You ride a boat for a minute, you're done. But it is indeed in this zone. I believe it's active for another day or 2. Not sure exactly, but if you want to do that, or missed it, there's that. So we have special assignment here, the weekly quest over here. He also gives you a weekly you can do for some like, you have to do some world quests and kill rares, and then gives you a chest. So do that. Do the special assignment here. Hallowfall, you have the Hallowfall area over here, and the special assignment up here as well. Ringing Deeps, you have the chest over here, Awaken the Machine. And then in in Isle of Dorn, you have the Theater Troop quest. Also to clarify, if you have alts, these quests up here in Hallowfall are not warband wide. You can do them multiple times for multiple bags if you want. And that is basically that. I did forget to mention one thing. If you are looking for the weekly dungeon quest, the guy is standing right here is for this. You choose, I think it's Stonebolt this week, at least for US it is, which is right here in the city. And if you're looking for a weekly quest, it is like the World Soul Quest or whatever. I believe it is this guy right here or this one. I think it's this one right here. It is a quest you choose either a world quest or a dungeon or doing like Awakening the Machine or something like that. I chose world quest. It's doing 6 world quests. It takes 10 minutes. You turn in, you get a box, maybe a key, something like that. That's basically it. Also, when it comes to your keys, these restore coffer keys, I would not use them in any kind of bountiful delves until the level 8 delves come out. They're going to be tough, but level 3 is the cap until the raid opens. I wouldn't spend any of these yet. The gear you get's going to be whatever and be replaced with Mythic 0 gear and all that. I'd say save them. So briefly, getting into my gearing as well. People have been asking a lot. We hit on it a little bit in the last video, but this is, I want to sort of get ahead to the main city here and show you guys. I'm currently 581.5, and I want to emphasize that there's no rush to gear. I enjoy this stuff. I think it's fun. I just like finding the little advantages you can get early on, but there's no reason to rush to a high eye level. If you want to sit back and chill, do it. You've got 2 weeks to do not much at all, honestly. But if you want to get, 580 plus or whatever, this is a pretty decent way to do it. So heroic gear is on the adventure path. It drops in dungeons at, let me see, this is the wrong expansion. I don't know why it's doing this. City of Threads. So heroic gear drops at 571 and it can go all the way to 593. Now the thing there is that if you push it to adventure 4 out of 8, which is what these 580 gear is here, that does not cost any actual crest. All it costs is Valor Stones, which are old Blight Stones. You can get a good bit of them from doing weekly events, farming heroics, all that kind of stuff. But if you push past there, it begins to require crest. It is your weathered crest, and these crests you can spend on mostly whatever you want. It's not a big deal. But the thing is, when you want to push this piece, say to 593, adventure 8 out of 8, I'll show you the upgrade guy right here. My bearings, it's over here. If you want to push him to 8 out of 8, or this piece of gear, it takes 45 of these weathered crest, 7 out of 8, which is 45, and then 8 out of 8 is 60. So it takes, and it goes to 593, but if you want 590, it's 45. Now, These are also pieces which have just random stats on them, sort of whatever. What you can do instead is say, I'm going to push this heroic gear, which is also warband wide. For example, if I have 580 gloves here, I get on my other warlock, I get a paradrap at 571. I can upgrade those on my other warlock to 580 for a discounted amount of crest. But what you want to do, I would say at least instead, is say all this heroic gear, I would push it to 580, and I would not go past that. Don't spend any crest on heroic gear. Don't spend these crests in general, save them all, but Weathered Harbinger crest you can spend, but I would spend them currently, might change, but only on two things. One is upgrading renown gear, which we hit on already. Helm, shoulders, and chest you can get from Council of Dorangal at 7, Assembly at 8, and Halifal at 7, respectively. Each zone has one of these three. If you upgrade these, they come at, I think, 584, something like that, and they just take these stones. Let me see. They come at 1 out of 8, sorry. But they take only these stones to upgrade to 4 out of 8, which is 597. Don't spend any of these. These are your carved shards. Don't touch these. So you can push these to 4 out of 8. 593 with the weathered stones, these ones right here, these, lesser ones. That is one way to spend these. The second way to spend these, which I would recommend, is crafting crests, essentially. So I'm going to break this down. Crest, to make a 590, essentially crest or whatever, which his weapon is, it costs 30 Weathered Harbinger crests to buy the thing from the enchanting guy, right? And that can push an item to 590. The staff, for example. To push heroic gear to 590, it takes 60 of them, essentially. This is 593, but I mean, you can go to 590 here. Either 15 more or 30 more, essentially double what you can, what it's required to buy a crest and have an enchanter make you one and then craft an item. Now, what you're likely going to see, at least from what I venture to guess and all that, is people pushing gear to 580 from heroics, which is Valor Stones, and then going to be spending their remaining Weathered Harbinger crest on renown gear, and then going to this enchanting vendor, buying these for 30 Weathered Harbinger crests, unless they increase the cost, which they might, and then having enchanters make a crest, which they can then bring to an inscriptionist, which I've done already, or any crafter, and say, hey, I want you to make me X, Y, Z. Now, most are making weapons right now, staves. Like, for example, I am my inscriptionist on my other character. I can make a max rank 5 staff. It's an embellishment. I dumped a bunch of gold into it for no concentration. But to a similar extent, what you will quite possibly see is people getting rings and necks crafted quite possibly later on this week, heading into the next week, because if you craft a neck, it has a socket on it. A ring also comes with a socket, unless they change that. I don't believe they did. So you can essentially get a free socket, a 590 piece for 30 crest instead of 60 without a socket. Trinkets, the one caveat to that is trinkets like Arakar, Sackbird, things, good ones before M0 comes out. You might want to invest some more crest in, possibly if you have some laying around. I might push this to 583 or whatever, but besides that, the main plan I'm going with is just upgrading heroic gear, adventurer gear. I haven't pushed these two yet because it's still explorer gear, to 580, and just saving crest, either upgrading my renown gear, which I have already, to 4 out of 8, and then just saying, hey, I'm going to buy crest, have an enchanter make them later on, and before, next week, whatever, I'll make likely a neck, some rings if I have enough, and go from there. It's not that complicated. If you don't want to craft that stuff, you can just upgrade heroic gear all the same, but you won't get the same raw value with 30 shards, essentially, or 30 crest versus 60, right? Now, the one thing to this as well is that it's likely very expensive to do this right now. My weapon cost me 100 something K. There's no rush to do this. You don't got to do it at all if you don't want to. But if you want to, I would likely wait until later this week when people didn't get early access, get more acclimated to the game, prices fall on profession stuff, or next week, right? Because prices will come down. And in the end, honestly, here's the thing. The moment Mythic Zeros drop, they give 593 a year, which honestly will likely replace a lot of stuff you have here as well. It might not replace 590 rings and necks with sockets, and a weapon's sort of hard to come by, a staff and everything else and all that. But if you get one, hey, it's a higher eye level, it might very well replace it, So take that into account. But with crafted gear, like whether it's a weapon or rings, you can also put an embellishment on it, like I did here, the Darkmoon Sigil one, which is just whatever, I'll take it off later on. And you can also choose your secondary stats, compared to like getting heroic gear, maybe with, haste and verse on it, or a crit and verse that I don't want, and having to make it 580 or 590 if you want to spend more crest on it, right? So you can control what you're doing with crafting for 30 crest versus 60 crest or so by upgrading heroic gear. In the end, it's up to you, but this is what I've done. It's worked out pretty well. I'll probably be somewhere around like 585 or so when it's all crafted, said and done. But once again, I want to emphasize, if you don't care about this stuff, if you don't enjoy this as a part of what you enjoy in this game, totally fine to not do this, because in the end, honestly, we got 2 weeks, and when the raid drops, everyone's going to be probably around 585-ish. If you're pushing this stuff, if you're not, honestly, hey, and you're 580 from heroics, there's not a huge difference. It's fun regardless. We got a whole week to run normal and heroic in the raid, and Mythic Zeros, and the week after, Mythic Plus opens up, and the whole Mythic raid opens up. There's that. Just to be a little bit of a bump to your eye level, a bump to your player's power if you want, heading into that. Once again, not a big deal. If you enjoy this, awesome, like I do. If you don't, that's totally okay. Don't yell at me in the comments. Play the game you want to play the game. This is just the way I want to play the game. Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully the video wasn't too long. If you had any questions about what to do, I guess, officially in week 1 after release and all of that, or gearing questions about heading into later week 1, heroic farming next week as well, which is coming up, which is just more heroic farming and all that with crafted gear, hopefully this video will answer all those questions for you. If you guys would like any Week Wars add-ons, once again, links to my Twitch and Discord down below. You can get them for free. At the same time, before we end, a massive shout out to my patrons for all the support on Patreon. Y'all, thank y'all a million times. I greatly appreciate all the support. Without your support, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing for you guys, just making content, all that, and I'm forever in your debt. I greatly appreciate it, y'all. If you're looking at supporting on Patreon, there should be a link up here, as well as down below in the video description. Now, I said a handful of times leading up to launch that I was excited for launch, but I was a little worried about there being not a whole lot to do the first 2 weeks. And honestly, while heroic dungeons are relevant and semi-irrelevant as far outside of like Valor farming, Valor stone farming, and crest and all that, there's actually a lot to do. And it feels like the first weeks of Dragonflight, but more exciting to me. I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it was great. Release was pretty solid, barring some servers going up and down a little bit. And I'm pumped to see where the next few weeks go, leading up to heroic release, mythic, and all that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all again soon on stream. Peace.